Hello everybody, I am Snowdog00. I hope all of you are having a wonderful day. I sure am. Anyways, in this video we're going to play Apocalypse Rising 2. If you're more interested in the action, that kind of thing, you can skip to 210 because this beginning is just speeding through what loot I get and how I get to the position that I was in for the 5-person fight, if that makes sense. Anyways, I spawn a bit away from the control bunkers. Of course, a solid spot of it was a bit risky to go to, as of course it is a decently popular spot. But then again, I'm not the greatest Apocalypse Rising. Anyways, go through there, start looking for some guns, switch out a few guns. My first gun is actually a bolt action, but in this I'll probably switch between 3-4 guns as I just progress my way down through the bunkers. Second weapon is the SKS. Not as good as heavy damage, which makes sense, but the fire rate much better. So I decided to switch out for that, especially because there's a lot of ammo around there, a lot of Soviet ammo that I found. So I decided to switch over towards that rifle. From there, once again, I switched my rifle to an M1 Grand. Firing rate pretty much the same, but the damage and everything is just so much better. So I decided to switch it out. This is the third gun I switched. So I do notice a submachine gun, but due to my specific loadout, I decided to go against it just because I didn't know how good the ammo was going to be and what type of engagements I'd get into, so I was thinking I would stay close range with my pistol and long range with my gun. And after that, I found my final primary weapon, the AK-47. It's a solid gun, I can switch it between semi and automatic to, reduce recoil, that kind of thing. And so I of course, decided to switch to it as a normal person would. And so that ends up being my final gun for this engagement that I'm going to get to later in the video. From here, I struggled to find water and food. Food was decent, but water and thirst items were not going so well for me. So I decided to leave the bunker. I tried to find something, and I ended up using my stamina boosters to help me last longer as I'm trying to find a sufficient, some soda or some water, just something to drink in general. I literally just heard some shots outside. Where is he? I was pretty sure he killed the Davis boy person. Stay low. After hearing some shots outside, I decide to move my way around the buildings, trying to find out where they're coming from. I find my way, and after a couple minutes, I manage to get up on top of a building, where I sit and stay as I listen for some silent shots. After a little while, I'm hiding behind the heater, and I hear a car, and the car comes driving through, and then it gets shot, blown up, and somebody gets killed. Oh, jeez. I decided to check to see if the person in the car was actually dead, which, not too much surprise, they were. There's somebody over here. There's the dead body, there's the vehicle. Maybe he'll go over and try and loot it. The shots coming from a different direction. Earlier, I had been confused in which direction the enemy was. I clearly must not have seen the shot that hit the car, and so after I get shot from the roof, I finally get a location of where this guy is, and we start to exchange some shots.
Alright, now he knows where I'm at. He has a rifle, I have an AK. So... Alright, pink one more time, dude. Yeah, still has it higher up. Alright. There's the rocks. If I could get up to that building. So rifle versus an AK. You're so limited on ammo, I just can't fire every single shot.
At first, I have my gun on full auto, and I start to take some couple shots, but I realize that the recoil, I can't consecutively hit him, and so I decide to switch to semi-automatic, which helps me get a couple of shots, although my aim is still a bit rusty until later in the fight.
There we go. Dude, why? How?
My medical supplies quickly start to deplete, and therefore I'm stuck in a very bad situation.
Zombies, can you just...
I'm wondering if I should retreat, if I should try and find some place to heal,
Zombies, there's
what
literally
I should be
nothing over
doing,
there.
and so I start to switch between the roof and the wall, and as my mind starts rushing to possibilities that I can to stay alive.
I can't do this.
Suddenly, another person enters the battlefield. I don't exactly know who this player was or where he came from, but it starts to put pressure on the person in the governor's building, and therefore allows me to start taking shots at him as he's trying to defend himself from multiple angles.
So he's focusing on me right now.
Since I was running low on medical supplies, I decided to retreat. I go to the building I was under. Unfortunately, it was a restaurant, but then the next building I try to crazy luck was a hospital. After going through the hospital, I managed to find some loot, heal up, find some more ammunition, but also there's a really good vantage point on the second story where I can look through the window to make sure that my enemy is still there, and of course he is. Frequent shots are still ringing out, meaning neither of the people that I had engaged before have died yet, but I checked that window 2 times just to make sure that the enemy is still where he is, and after that I exit the hospital and continue to engage the enemy. I then begin to take fire from up against the side of the wall. Surprisingly,
Oh.
I the person at the governor's building is not there anymore, so I assumed that he had been taken out. I decided to move up to the governor's building to try and get a better vantage point on the enemy who has been shooting me from the rocks. I then noticed somebody from
Long
on
time
top of the
being
fire tower. From there, I lose sight of him and I don't see him anymore after that. I assumed that it was the guy from earlier, but then again I realized that he retreated back behind the houses, so I believe he escaped from the actual and final engagement. From there, I begin to sneak up to one of the next buildings. Little do I know there's somebody up on the roof, and so after some time, I get shot at. And now this is where the real action begins, where 2 people encounter me, and it's just a straight head on. I'll just let the video speak for itself.
Oh, come on.
With the kill tag showing up, I am automatically assume that with how close it was, and since it was with an automatic weapon, that one of the enemies should have been taken out. Originally, I thought they had been working together after the shots had started to fire after so long. Apparently, they just probably didn't know that they were there, and they engaged, and one of them was taken out, meaning I thought there was only one of them left.
So they weren't working together then? Let's go. Stuff. And I don't have it. Well, that was a solid round. Yeah, solid engagement too. Anyways, I'll see you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe first before I leave. You know, starting on YouTube channel is hard. If you want to see more Apocalypse Rising 2, please don't forget to subscribe. I plan to get better at it if you guys like it. And that kind of thing. Yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next one.